Hello everyone, I'm Aladesh. I number you here. My summer adventures day one, or my memories of another life summer adventure day one. I don't know very well how it is because how it is over there. I'm a little bit confused. But this day one, this like a prologue, if you want to say like that, because the full game it's to come out this month, but I think it's in the end. I don't know if they have a date or not. I think they have. I think it's May 30. So it's like still a long time to come out. So, but they released this prologue. They want for you to see the first day of the game, basically. I don't know if this first day will be included or not in the full game. Probably it will. But yeah, so the game is developed by Alkinoy and published by 101 XP. If you want, you can download this prologue for free. You know. And then if you play this prologue, don't forget to wishlist the full game. So let's see. Of course, it's a visual novel with choice and there's endings, but I don't think endings exist in the prologue. I think it only exists on the full game. Swaying inside a subway car, which was packed by the late hour, he came to a realization. A rather scary one, come to think of it. I have nothing left besides my job. This gloomy thought didn't face him, however. He was too tired to get emotional. A long time ago, when he was little, he found a great way to deal with bad thoughts. He would imagine the bad thought was a bubble above his head, like in a comic book, that would disappear in the next panel. Maybe he should try that now? But the harder he tried to imagine the bubble, the more memories came crashing in. His wife, his son. About the time when he was happy. To hell with it. He sighed heavily and tried to lean more comfortably against the steel bar he was holding onto. He started to feel drowsy, and soon familiar images were once again floating before him. That conversation with Yuko. She isn't screaming, but you can feel her hunger. She's tense and upset. You never spend time with Akira, always coming home past midnight. He used to come up with excuse. He would admit he was guilty and promised to do better, but he never could, and they would argue again and again. Finally, he was fed up with always feeling guilty. Shut up, don't you understand what I'm doing this all for? He remembers the fury welling up inside of him. He remembers the tears welling up in his wife's eyes. He remembers the words that brought it all down. I should never have married you. Jesus. Really? Goddamn. So stupid. You never realize how much pain you've caused until there's no going back, he sighed. He needed a distraction before the sadness consumed him. Karoshi. That word suddenly popped into his head. It will kill me. I wonder if she'll come to my funeral. Maybe she'll bring my son. He felt a rush of cold air as the doors opened and realized that the train had arrived at another station. He knew that the seat next to him was about to be occupied by another tired person who, for some reason, was on their way to the suburbs at 10 p.m. So they did. He heard the clicking of heels. Oma sat down nearby. He wanted to look at her. He opened his eyes. My god. Wait a second. Photos? Okay. Something was off about her. He could feel it. Something in her look, in her eyes. Something fake, but insanely familiar. Does he know her? Is it? Then he realized it. Or rather, he felt it. He wouldn't have been to explain it had somebody asked it. He just felt it with his whole body. He knew. This grey-haired woman in a business suit wanted to die. Jesus. How the fuck do you know that? I never know. Is it my summer adventures? Or what else is memories of another life? Also, only if it is the rest of the text. Kyoko Shihan only felt safe when she was close to home. That weird man on subway had stared at her for almost the entire journey. It wasn't the look of a person curious about her grey hair. The man looked at Kyoko with sadness and worry in his eyes, as if he would been concerned for her. That look had completely soured her mood. The entrance to her building shone like a torch in the darkness, so bright and overpowering. But the effect was instantly noticeable when you stepped onto the stairs. The warm light enveloped you, filling you with a sense of serenity. This is your home, after all. This is where you should feel comfortable. But the magic of the light held nothing for Kyoko. Apathetically, she walked through the lobby and called the elevator. Her apartment was on the 26th floor. It was a huge place with panoramic windows that seemed to overlook the whole city, so she's basically rich, right? Because let's be honest, who the hell gets an apartment like this? Its millions of lights, like a swarm of fireflies, always mesmerized Kyoko. It's those lights that kept Kyoko from leaving her apartment. At night, surrounded by darkness, she would gaze at those lights and feel she wasn't alone. She was surrounded by people, countless people. Each of them had their own story, their own problems. Perhaps some of them were even happy. So basically, we are playing now here is with that woman with gray hair. She took off her shoes and went inside. The ringing silence was becoming unbearable. She found the TV remote on a chair. The 7th channel was playing a familiar movie. Only when the noise from TV filled the room did Kyoko finally begin to calm down. It had become a routine. Turn on the lights, drool in front of TV. Chuckling to herself, she started to change. She took off everything but her underwear and t-shirt, and carefully crossing the floor in her bare feet, stepped into the kitchen and where she kept her cigarettes. Smoking was also a routine, or rather a ritual. One of the many that seemed to make up her life these days. Since you are alone, keep busy through the day so you never have time to think. The advice she was given once. So now she was going to have a smoke, then make some dinner, then spend the rest of the night working. The less you think, the better. Thoughts can kill, but life had other plans. Her attention was drawn to a book on the coffee table. It looked like a regular black notebook that you could buy anywhere. But something bothered Kyoko. This evening was getting more and more strange. First that man on subway, now this. Where did it come from? She'll never had a notebook like this, and she hadn't kept any of her ex-husband's things around. Could the maid have left it? Accepting this as most likely explanation, Kyoko picked up the notebook and opened it at the bookmark. She immediately wanted to throw it away. It was her ex-husband's handwriting. It was his notebook. Tears welled up in her eyes. The memories washed over her. Leave me alone. With all her strength, Kyoko threw the notebook as hard as she could. She hated it. She hated her ex. She hated herself for her weakness. Her sight smoke turned into a vital necessity. She went through 3 cigarettes one after another, almost without noticing. Finally, she began to calm down. It's just a notebook after all. Kyoko immediately realized she was lying to herself. Of course, it wasn't just a notebook. It was a reminder, a blinding and unexpected one. In a split second, it brought down all her barriers and evaded all of her thoughts. Kyoko knew that trying to read it would only cause her pain. Am I not already hurting enough? That simple question exploded like a bomb, shattering her will to resist. It was too late to be wary of pain. Kyoko knew it the moment she recognized his handwriting. Whatever she did, the result would be the same. Pain. Kyoko had made up her mind. She put the cigarette out in the ashtray and, clenching her fists, walked towards the notebook. It was still on the floor, its white page shining. She carefully picked it up and sat down on the couch. It was definitely his handwriting. She will never fail to recognize it. Bad handwriting is a sign of intelligence, you know? Well, then you must be some kind of a genius. With every memory, she could picture him all the more clearly. She could practically see his eyes, those big eyes and that mischievous squint. She could see his smile. She could hear his voice. Are you praising me or scolding me now? Kyoko wiped away her tears and put the notebook away. She will read it, whatever it took, but she'll probably need tissues first. My god, I can't read this shit. Is this an A or an S? Oh my god. September 9, 4:30 p.m. Dark clouds are dropping a torrent onto the city, and I can't help but worry if my Kyoko got caught in the train. She took an umbrella with her, of course. But with this wind, the drops are practically falling horizontally, so what's good will do it. I should probably run a bath for her. She'll definitely want to get warm when she's back. So here I am again. All the tasks are done, all the odd jobs. The lights are out in the apartment, except the lamp on my desk. The rain keeps hammering against the glass, and I'm glad to be out of the dark and the cold, in a small circle of light with my notebook. I love this feeling. Since I was in school, I've always found something magical about these moments. The streets are already dark, and I'm sitting by the lamp, scribbling away at my homework. Maybe it's my version of sitting by the campfire, or just a personal quirk. Everyone has one after all. Damn, I'm losing my train of thought again. Lately I've been trailing off pretty often. I should get down to business. I've written a whole page already and still made zero progress. My name is Maxim Las. I'm 40 years old. I live in Tokyo with my wonderful wife, Chihana Kyoko. We have been married for 5 years. As for how we met, no wait. The way our relationship started was absolutely bizarre. I'm not kidding. It was truly fantastical. Like something from a romance novel. I think there's a whole separate genre about this kind of thing already. In short, I turned myself into another body. How did I do that? I have no idea. Some cosmic miracle of the universe. Maybe Mercury was in retrograde. I can't say we ever tried to make sense of it. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. We deliberately chose not to ask questions. At first, we tried talking about, but those conversations just went nowhere. Then we gave up. We had other things to deal with rather than waste our time trying to explain the unexplainable. For everyone else, we came up with some story about how we met online, got together, and fell in love. Eventually, that lie eclipsed the truth, as if it was all a dream, and I never discovered myself in the body of a young Japanese man. Just more proof that magic has no place in the real world. It's confined to books and TV. But this was a true story. It actually happened. And that's why I'm sitting here writing this down, because I think it's important that I tell this story. I should tell the world about the magical summer, 5 years ago. I think I'll call this mess my summer adventure. Kyoko looked away from the page. She felt danger. It was like her husband was pulling her into dark and uncomfortable no. She never liked the conversation about the paranormal. She would have given a lot to have actually met her husband online, like normal people do. But whatever had happened, happened. Since it had been so important to him, Kyoko sighed deeply and continued reading. Okay, so this is going to be. Oh no, it's still not. September 10, 10 a.m. Rereading what I wrote yesterday makes me think I was drunk. I have no idea how I managed to fall into such melancholy. Well, actually I do. It's because of the rain. It makes me emotional. No more writing in bad weather. Anyway, I should get down to business after all. It's already been 3 pages of pointless ranting. Bravo, Max. So my story begins on July 17, 2018 in the city of Tallinn. I was 25 and to be honest, I wasn't in the best shape. Somebody once told me, life is like a zebra. There's a white stripe, then a black one, white, black, white, black. I was definitely in the black stripe at that point of my life. And it was all because of a girl named Paulina. Specific to the fact that she'll dumped me. Doesn't sound like that big a deal. It happens every day. People meet each other, separate, get married, get divorced. They take out mortgage, have children, abandon them. Plenty of people have been through it, but it hit me hard. I'm ashamed to admit. I couldn't let Paulina go. I lost any pride I had and any sense with it. I kept going to her house with flowers. I waited for her by her office. I drew sentimental crap on the ground under her window. In short, I was making my ex lives miserable. My life in turn lost all of its color and meaning. I felt no joy. I didn't care about anyone. I actually quit my job just so I could wallow in my sadness. Basically, it was the same old story you have probably heard before. I spent about 6 months like this. And then suddenly something snapped me out of that emotional coma. And what was it? Just another classic story. It started when I fell asleep on the train. Chapter 1. So this now 5 years ago, is it? If you don't adapt, you die. If you don't die, you adapt. Huh. When I woke up, I had one question floating in my mind. Where the hell am I? I knew I found asleep in the train car, but that wasn't where I woke up. Did they kick me off the train? Why don't I remember that? And what station is this? I had no time to look around though. I heard somebody's voice. Are you okay? I turned around to see who was talking. It was a pleasant surprise. A pretty blonde girl was looking me over. She was slim, well dressed, with blue eyes, exactly my type. I also liked the fact she was looking at me. She did seem a bit worried though. Akira-kun? She said and touched my shoulder, and that's when I blacked out. Akira-kun? Okay. While my right hand self is lying unconscious, let's dot the E's and cross the T's. I don't normally black out when a pretty girl touches me. I don't idolize women. I don't think they are some greater beings. Honestly, I could have a black belt in arm touching. I've touched women's arms, men's arms, dog paws, cat's paws, raccoon's paws, and even parrot's feet. It's a long story. It's just that the touch of my future wife, spoiler alert, kind of became the magic touch for me. Only not in a good way. The thing was, a number of things actually happened between the moment she touched me and the moment I blacked out. I looked down at where she touched me and made a few discoveries. The clothes weren't mine. The arm protruding from those clothes wasn't mine either. How did I know? Because of the fingers. They were like sausage. I'll never had such a fat fingers. These were the fingers of an obese man. I'd also never owned a jacket like the one I was wearing. And I sure as hell never had a gut like the one it was failing to hide. I began to panic. What the hell is happening? How? I had to look at myself in the mirror. I started looking around and I saw my reflection in the train window. In that reflection, I saw a shaggy 20 something guy. So, that's what happened. Now let's continue. When I finally came to, I found myself sitting on a bench. The blonde girl was standing beside me, handing me a bottle of water. Here you go. I hope I didn't fall on her. I could easily crush her. Watch your face. Does she think I have a heart stroke? My head did actually feel like it was on fire. I opened the bottle and poured it over my head. I feel a bit better, calmer. Do you need me to call an ambulance? I should say I never liked doctors. A long time ago, one of them made a mistake that my family paid for. Since then, even the mention of an ambulance put my hackles up. So I replied without thinking, no, don't. I'm fine. Are you sure? Yes. There was an awkward pause. Then, should we go? She asked instantly. Where? I asked confused. To the university, she replied equally confused. To the university? I repeated even more confused. She decided to put an end to the back and forth thing and just nodded. Okay, let's go then, I replied. And so we did. He doesn't even know, because that's not his body. So he doesn't even know what the hell is happening. I don't know about everyone else, but I have this one mental quirk. I call it my shock absorber. It's kind of stupid that it's me whenever I'm addressed by a person I don't know that well, like a colleague. Realizing that somebody isn't there just to say hi and leave, but actually wants something from me makes a little voice in my head start screaming. So for a few seconds my brain just shuts off, and only afterwards do I snap out of it and start actually thinking things through. Shock absorber. Well, at that very moment my shock absorber was doing its thing, with full support of my appendage. For about 10 minutes I just walked behind this girl looking around. After a while I felt like a light burning sensation in my head and realized it was my ability to think coming back. It was coming back slowly, painfully, pushing aside the last bit of hope I had that I was dreaming. But since I was waking up, I had to start thinking about the mess I was apparently in. As I'd start with, where the hell am I? Definitely not in Estonia. Where then? The skyscrapers didn't tell me anything. Plenty of cities had them. I noticed the people around me appeared to be East, maybe Southeast Asian. I'm not an expert though. Could it be in Japan, China, Singapore? Before long we came onto a street that had some signs. Finally, I looked carefully. What the? Funnily enough, I could easily read what they say. This was when I realized theory started to crack. How could I read language and not know what it was? It was some kind of farce. I mean, come on. Just a minute, maybe I knew something about the guy who was to be in this sack of fat. I tried to think of the guy's last name or address, but nothing was coming to me. I didn't know anything about the girl walking next to me either. Basically, the only thing I knew was language. I was beginning to panic. The unexplainable kept raining down on me, and I was finally starting to drown. I stopped believing in what was happening to me. It couldn't be true. It just couldn't. Then I looked at my hands again, then at my reflection. No explanation was coming up. I stopped and closed my eyes. What do I do here? How do I survive? I don't know anything. No, that's enough. I took a deep breath. A deep breath is a nature sedative. When you are nervous, just take a deep breath and hold it. The oxygen will enter your bloodstream and reach your brain. I heard a YouTube business say that once. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. A deep breath. After all, they won't let me die here. I'm in a civilized 21st century country. I could say I have amnesia. This was an inconvenient option, but a pretty safe one. I'll have to stay in a hospital, meet this guy's parents, but I'll survive. This thought made me feel a bit better. I had a plan B at least. Kiriko, are you not feeling well again? Maybe I should walk you home? She was standing next to me with a genuinely worried look on her face. She was concerned about me. I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but it was her face and her willingness to help that made me to put off the amnesia story for a bit. I will always have time to go to the hospital. No, I'm okay. Let's go. Are you sure? Uh-huh. Of course she didn't believe me, but still she turned around and continued walking. I didn't ask for more. We walked the rest of the way to the university. He doesn't even know the class that he takes. While walking, I was trying to statistically analyze all the data I had. She called me Akira-kun. Kun. I knew what it meant to us. Of course, it's a Japanese honorific. I have to be in Japan. Yes. Today I find it rather funny how happy I was just to know what country I was in. It must have been the stress. I'm rather that emotional in my everyday life. Even close to payday, when I unlock something cool in a mobile game. But at that moment I was practically glowing with pride at my mental aptitude, even if no one else could see it. I couldn't rest on my laurels for too long though. Detective Lass had another mystery to untangle. Akira-kun. Akira-kun. What the fuck? So, is Akira the first name or the last? I knew with Japanese it could be difficult to figure. Not only do they put the last name first, but the names themselves can be quite confusing. I recall a colleague asking me once, who is Suzuka Madoka? Which could it be? Back then I thought Madoka was a girl's name. I had made two mistakes with that one. One, Madoka was the first name. Two, it belonged to a man. So, as I said, quite confusing. I went on with my analysis. She addressed me as Kun. This is a friendly honorific. The formal will be San, so it's friendly. If it's friendly, Akira is probably the first name. Otherwise, why would she use an informal honorific with a last name? So Akira is my first name. A bit later I remember something else that confirmed my guess. I recall a video game with a Japanese protagonist named Akira. Thank you, video games. So I just needed to figure out my last name. Then I had another breakthrough and started searching through the pockets of my jacket looking for some sort of ID. But there was nothing. I only found a wallet with some yen. Well, at least I had further proof I was in Japan. I wanted to look through my backpack, but the blonde girl suddenly turned in a corner and started walking towards one of the skyscrapers. It had a sign with large letters that say Toredo. That must have been the university. Impressive. Compared to our universities located in old kindergarten school buildings, this was mind-blowing. But my surprise was quickly replaced with panic. How do I enter without a student ID? Still, I kept following the girl, who didn't seem at all concerned. What the hell could that mean? Maybe I don't need an ID? Sure, like they will just let anyone in. Any second now we are going to reach the door. She'll pull out her ID and walk in, and I'll be stopped by security. I kept following her anyway. We were just by the doors. Everything was much simpler than I would expect. There was no security inside. The girl approached the glass sliding doors, pushed a special key into one of the keyholes on the wall, and voila, the doors opened. Really? That easy? So I don't need an ID? Oh, and here I was worried. Amazing. Is this really a university? The inside of the building looked more like some kind of business center. There were escalators, cutting-edge transparent elevators, and lecture theaters with glass walls. There were even a few stores and cafes. I couldn't stop gazing around. Despite everything, I kept following the girl like an obedient puppy. We walked through the lobby, entered an elevator, and went up to the third floor. She went out and I went out after her. Then something I didn't expect happened. Akira-kun, where are you going? Needless to say, her question caught me off guard, and that's putting it mildly. Thankfully, I had enough sense not to say, I'm just following you. Shocked as I was, I figured out she'll just reply with, why? And I definitely wouldn't have an answer for that. You are on the 5th floor. I decided to see you out. Thanks. What all this means? I decided to see you out. Oh shit, I don't know what this means. Well, I shouldn't say walk. More like drag myself behind you to the lecture hall in case we are in the same one. But who cares about the little test, right? The girl didn't seem ready for this. She stared at me confused. Maybe a bit too confused. Has she never been hit on by a fat guys? I decided to go all in. As my team of management professor used to say, whatever crap you say it with confidence. When in a confused situation, just be the alpha. So I walked towards the girl, look at her in the eye and say, shall we go? She hesitated for a bit, but apparently she felt embarrassed saying no. Yes, she replied slightly shocked. So we did. We walked down an hallway, made a few turns, then we rode on auto walk, one of those moving walkways. And finally we stopped in the front of a door. The sign above said 345-1. That's where we are today, thanks. No worries, thanks. I replied and went back to the elevator. I was walking back, extremely proud of myself. I got out of the situation beautifully, didn't I? Now she thinks I was just flirting with her. Not that I'm a weird dimensional traveler. Hell, I'm a genius. So I was thinking for a couple of minutes until I reached the elevator. A new question came to me, and it crushed all my newfound confidence. Where do I go now? I didn't know my lecture room, or my class, or anything. Damn, calling myself a genius might have been premature. But my salvation came unexpectedly. Akira-kun, please don't stand around like that. People don't want to squeeze past you. I turned around and saw another girl. Quite a pretty one too. Although the stuff she said and the way she said it didn't sound appealing. This music? And then she opened her mouth, as they say. I instantly wasn't a fan of this girl. Akira-kun, how long are you going to stare at me as if you never seen me before? I finally understood what she meant and moved aside. The girl walked past me but then turned around. Akira-kun, did you change your mind about getting a diploma? Did you finally decide to become a NEET and depend on your parents for the rest of your life? What the hell is she on about? What's a NEET? She realized I didn't understand. Akira-kun, do I need to talk slower? Will that get through to you? I still had no idea how to react to her audacity. Is she insane? Are we in some special relationship? Looks like I do. She came close and looked me in the eye. Akira-kun, my question is, why are you still standing around while there are only a few minutes left until the lecture starts? Why aren't you on your way to the hall? Are we in the same one? I asked carefully. Very funny, Akira-kun. Your sense of humor is your most redeeming quality. Let's go. I guess that means yes. We entered the lecture hall and I sat at the desk at the far end. My latest supervisor looked at me curiously. Akira-kun, should I call a doctor for you? What? Why? You didn't choose your usual seat, Akira-kun. I assume you are sick? Where is my usual seat? I asked with a tinge of irritation. Akira-kun, you are starting to worry me. Did you stay up too late watching adult content? Oh my god. Remember that tinge of irritation I mentioned? It grew quite a bit stronger and I got a temptation to hit her with something heavy. More than once. Can you just answer normally without joking around? Joking around? Akira-kun, my speech is concentrated truth of the highest order. I'll never be caught partaking in jokes or any other such silliness. But I admit, you're right, and I still haven't answered your question. Well, Akira-kun, your usual seat is there, right in front of the sensei. She pointed at the desk at the very front. Thanks. It's not Akira-kun. If your porn-induced amnesia persists, you can always ask me for assistance. Definitely, bye. I said and showing my interest, started digging around in my backpack. She can't take a hint, right? Apparently not. When I stayed myself, she was still standing in front of me. Akira-kun, I showed you your kindness, but you didn't reciprocate. I would like you to answer my question as well. I thought for a bit and recalled what she meant. No, I don't need a doctor. Very well, Akira-kun, I'm satisfied. Bye. Confused, doesn't begin to describe what I was feeling. She has to be crazy. What does she have in for me? What kind of relationship did she and this guy have? At the moment the hall quietened down, I could see the professor in the doorway. I want to stand up out of the habit, but I stopped myself. Everyone else remained seated. Seems like that isn't custom here. Once the professor entered, some girl approached him and handed him a sheet of paper. The list of absentees, I guess? Where is Kojima? I barely managed to stifle a laugh. Kojima? Like the games with the snake and cardboard box? Oh god. Reference to Hideo Kojima? Come on. Man, what a lucky last name. There he is, the girl said, pointing at me. I groaned. Not only was I inside some fatty, my last name was Kojima. What had I done to deserve this? Why couldn't I have been transported to a body of a good-looking ladies' man? I noticed everyone looking at me. What the hell? What are you staring at me? What are you starting at? Have you never seen a person changing seats? Why aren't you in your seat? I felt like sitting somewhere else. I replied, displeased. I immediately realized I had made a mistake. The surprised looks changed to downright bewildered ones. Damn, that must be considered unacceptable here. I'm sorry, I muttered. It's fine, the professor replied. Alright, let's begin the class. Looks like I'm in the clear. Everyone finally turned away. The professor wrote the topic of the lecture on the board. Distinct features of the 19th century European architecture. Whoa! The kid is learning to be an architect. Who would have thought? I didn't care about the lecture though. I opened a notebook and started writing down everything I knew about myself. Oh god. My name is Akira Kojima. Judging by my appearance, I'm 21 years old. I attend the University of Toledo, seemingly studying to be an architect or an engineer. That's it. Where do I live? What's my money situation? Where are my friends and relatives? Do I have any? If so, how do I contact them? Contact. The answer was so simple. I almost slapped myself. My cell phone, of course. It must have a contact list. Trying to keep it quiet, I start patting my pockets. I located a stylish smartphone in a head case in the pocket of my jacket, and some keys with it. So stupid. Who carries keys with their phones? You'll scratch the screen. With that, I tapped on my phone, and a moment later I wanted to throw it out the window. Can you guess why? Yes, it had a passcode. An untranslatable and witty play on words using local idiomatic expressions. I don't know if the real Akira Kojima could hear me somehow, but I hope his bears are burning. I hope they are burning clean off, because I was cursing him in ways you wouldn't find in the dictionary of obscenities. I was screwed. I couldn't contact my friends or relatives to ask them for help. I couldn't Google my house. I can't do anything. Damn it. I can't even tell anyone about my amnesia. No. Screw it. I know about the university. If I talk about being amnesiac here, they will help. If so, it's okay. I took a deep breath, trying to push away the fear. I can't stay at the university forever though. I have to find out where I live. But how? If I ask the administration, I'll have to admit I'm amnesiac right away. Then it hit me. The blonde girl. Maybe I should walk you. Oh? Alright. So, she knows where I live? Or did she mean show me the way? I'll help you get there. How do I find out? Well, I can't. I'll have to ask. I try to recall which lecture hall that blonde girl was in. Take a left, then a right, then up the escalator, then another left. I didn't know the hall number, of course, but I was sure I could recognize it. I hope she doesn't leave the lecture. If she does, I'm done. I was eyeing the door, waiting for the break. Business coach said the most motivated person is the one who needs to get to the classroom. My motivation was probably 10 times stronger. The bell had barely rung, and I was already out of the door looking for my girl. Nan! How he runs! Whew. Well, she finally confessed, and there she is, walking out with a friend. I felt a little lightheaded. I'll barely managed. Had I been a couple of seconds late, I would have been lost. Thank God. The girls hadn't noticed me so far. So for a while, I was just stood and watched them go. You are probably wondering why I didn't walk up and ask her. I wanted to, but then I realized I had a little problem. The girl's name, I didn't know it, so I had no idea how to address her. I couldn't just poke her. That wouldn't have been smart. I tried picturing how this would have gone. This girl is walking down the hall, minding her own business, when a disabled fat guy appears out of nowhere, pokes her and asks her to walk him home. No, definitely not. If she walks me anywhere after that, it will probably be to the hospital. I need to find out her name, but how? And that was when the universe seemed to have heard my plea, or rather I heard it. Not the universe, no, more like the whisper of Lady Luck. He definitely loves you, Shihanan-san. I could hear that line clearly despite the noise. Shihan-san. Shihan-san! I shouted and ran towards the girls. Can I talk to you for a second? This is cool that does these intervals like, anime, that they have these intervals. Shian Koyoko-san was kind enough to meet me after class, so a couple of hours later I was waiting for her on a bench. I was sad. I had searched through my backpack and pockets, but couldn't find anything useful. I knew my name and country. The cards and keys I found didn't tell me anything. I sighed and tried to focus on something else. The sun was mercilessly hot. I had to take off my jacket, necktie and sweater. Thankfully, it all fit inside my backpack. There was also the noise. Some insect unknown to me, maybe some kind of cricket, was sounding off like a airplane, drawing out everything else. All those did not drive them insane. While waiting, I tried Akira's phone once again. I found out it was July 18, Wednesday. I had also learned Akira wasn't either a Hey Bradbury or Deus Ex fan, since the password 0451 didn't work. Just 9,999 other combinations to try. Strangely, I wasn't worried about what I'll say to Kyoko. I don't know why. Maybe I'll access my ability to worry for one day. I just felt that we will easily find common ground. My confidence lasted right until I saw her slender figure step outside. Apparently she already noticed me and I was heading straight over. That's when it started. The closer she got, the more doubts I had. What do I say? How do I say it? I couldn't just say, please walk me home. I mean, I could, but she wouldn't understand. I tried to picture the conversation. Kyoko, please walk me home. And she goes, you know, this might be the worst attempt at flirting I've ever seen. Kyoko, no, wait. Crap, I have to think of something else. She's so close. Think. What if captive her heart, drive her crazy? No, captivate her heart. Kyoko-san, I'm floored by your beauty. Like cherry blossoms floating down under the rays of moonlight. That's where my thoughts slowed down a bit. How do I compare a girl to a falling leaf? But I didn't want to stop. You are amazing. I don't think she will expect that. Kyoko, you are the blood running through my veins. I can't be without you. I need you like a drowning man needs air, like a flower needs sun, like a cat needs catnip. And Kyoko, I'm suffering even right now from happiness. So, could you walk me home? I looked right into her eyes. Time stood still as I waited for her reply. Finally, she spoke. But I didn't need to think so hard. It turned out to be pretty simple. Hey, sorry, I'm late. It's okay. You said you need to talk to me? I did. Can we do this on our way home? Much simpler. 5 minutes later, I was happily lying to her about my difficult life. It wasn't even that far from the truth. A serious concussion, a hematoma. The doctors say I could experience memory loss. Kyoko-san was looking at me, shocked. She didn't seem to doubt me at all. So innocent. Bless her. I remember most things, but not everything. Would you believe it? I forgot my phone's passcode, so I can't unlock it. I also don't remember where I live. Kyoko stopped. Akira-kun, you're not joking, are you? No. Then why aren't you at the hospital, or your parents' place? Because I felt fine yesterday. I came back from the hospital and went to sleep, and I felt fine in the morning. Well, until I got off the train. As for my parents, I didn't want to worry them yesterday, and today I can't even call them. You should talk to the professors. Oh, come on. I wanted to wait it out. It could all come back to me. I said I'd talk to you because you said you could walk me home. So, you know where I live, right? You don't even remember that? What the hell is she on about? What's that? Don't tell me we live together. While I was thinking on to answer, Kyoko seemed to take my silence and answer. We are neighbors, Akira-kun. We walk to university together almost every day. What a twist! So that's why she was nearby. Just a minute. Just neighbors? Nothing more? What's our relationship? Meanwhile, she went on. Akira-kun, I really think you should go to the hospital. Just leave this alone, please. No hospitals. But Akira-kun, that's enough. If you want to help, do what I'm asking. I couldn't quite read her face. There was sadness, confusion, fear, but she didn't argue. Alright, Akira-kun, that was all she said. We went on, silently. Soon the silence started bothering me. I even thought about saying I was sorry. I didn't want to, of course. I didn't say anything I'll be offended by, so why should I feel guilty? But common sense was telling me that perhaps I wasn't the universal emotional yardstick, and Kyoko might not have been as thick-skinned as me. And perhaps her silence meant I will cross a line. After all, she simply expressed concern, and I shouted at her. But it's not like I asked for her concern. Can't I get a break? Why are women so complicated? I had to stay on good terms with Kyoko. She was my only chance to get home. But she kept walking without saying a word. I got angry at myself. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. She gave me a surprised look. What for, Akira-kun? I should be the one saying sorry. You are unwell and I'm bothering you. I wanted to apologize earlier, but you look so angry. I had expected Kyoko to be so rational. For some reason I thought she was a stereotypical pretty know-it-all who only cared about being right. But I'll be wrong. Kyoko was smart and a lot more shrewd than I thought. She understood not only what I was thinking but my feelings too. The only idiot in that situation was me, making assumptions about somebody I didn't even know. And there I was, thinking I was being rational. I felt guilty. Thankfully she preferred to resolve this amicably. How about this? You forgive me and I'll forgive you. Sounds good. I'm sorry, Akira-kun. I'm sorry too. I stuck out my pinky finger and she grabbed it with hers. Pinky swear, stay true or get 10,000 punch. I never heard a pinky swear like this. Damn it all to hell. This truly crappy day. Is that a saying with pinky finger? Okay, another break. I like these breaks. It's pretty good. About an hour later, I was standing in front of apartment 24 inside a strange building thinking, what's with this architecture? There's no lobby and the exit is on the balcony. Are these apartments on our dorms rooms? I wonder if there's only one kitchen or an outhouse. You might be wondering how I narrowed it down to 24. Simply, Kyoko pointed me to it. She had told me the truth. She actually lived in the next building and saw my apartment number a couple of times. I was incredibly lucky. One of the keys on my keychain fit the lock. To be completely honest, I was pretty scared to open the door. What was behind it? What was this fatty into? What if I go and find panties on the kitchen table and posters with naked ladies all over the walls? Talk about awkward. I sighed and opened the door. Probably video games? Only? I was amazed. At how normal everything looked. This can't be. Something must be wrong here. I walked in, took off my shoes, and left them in the entrance area with the lower floor. Ingenious. Why don't they have that in my country? Then I look around. At first glance, the place looked fine, a normal room of a normal university student. Although there was a jumbled heap clothes in the wardrobe and a thick layer of dust peeking out from under the bed, but those were nothing. Overall, the place was kind of nice. I sighed with relief and threw myself onto the bed. I finally had time to think everything over. I tried to analyze the whole deal with being transported to another body. I guess I shouldn't have expected to have a handle on things too quickly. But by now, I was starting to think it was pointless. You'll never figure out how this works, so why waste time? If something like this happens, your main goal is to survive. I seem to have succeeded in that. Thank you, whatever power there is. You haven't totally thrown me into the lions. Then I had an idea. I should try calling myself. Then I remembered the locked phone. Damn! What if my PC was locked too? That thought me feel even worse. What would I do then? Of course, there wasn't one option. Install the OS. But it will take a while, and where will I get the installation package anyway? Sneak into the internet cafe and try to download it to rent? I swore out loud. I hope it won't come to that. My heart beating rapidly. I sat down at the table and turned on the laptop. Version 10. So far so good. Is that like his nickname? Instantly I clicked the sign button. I thought about throwing my phone out the window again. After all, why would I need it when it's locked? The laptop has no password. I threw up my arms victoriously. But it was short-lived. I saw something slightly strange on the screen. Perhaps very strange. Is this who I think it is? Oh god. Yes, it was her. The girl I met in the hallway. I thought hard about this. My classmate naked as a wallpaper. What the hell could that mean? Is he in love with her? Maybe there used to be something between them. Ha, yeah right. This fatty and that pretty girl? Ridiculous. But this was the only explanation for this photo I can think of. If there was never anything between them, but he has her nude photo, did he hack her computer, her socials? Then again, the photo looks like it was taken by a professional. Maybe she's some kind of adult model? Or maybe she's a carefree spirit who doesn't mind posting stuff like this publicly. Her body is impressive. What a woman. Look for more pictures of the girl. I don't think I can do that. Let's go for a thing. And once again, I grew worried. To hell with the girl. I have more important business. Alright, which of these icons is a browser? There wasn't a single familiar browser app installed. What the hell? I cursed at the poor young Japanese man once again and started carefully studying the icons. Stupid Akira. Why couldn't he install something everyone uses? Most of the desktop was filled with video games and signed programs, but eventually I found something called Brove. Could that be it? It was a colorful window of the Yahoo search engine. Yeah, it's like I cannot go for the search for the thoughts because I don't know what else it can be. Like that in that one, she's already naked. Of course, you cannot see, everything, and the hair is covering the boobs, so it's okay. But you don't know the rest of the photo, so that's why I decided the second option. Probably didn't add nothing else like naked. Probably it wasn't naked photos the rest, but who knows? I cannot risk. Maybe I should download Chrome right away. Whatever, I can do it later. I wanted to find my online profile. What if the real Akira was in my body? If so, maybe we could talk about it. I entered the name in Japanese and found the right social network on the second page of the search. Not to find my profile. Of course, the keyboard didn't have any Roman characters, but it wasn't a problem. I just entered my name into an online translator. Then I realized something that shook me deeply. My hands froze above the keyboard, and for a while I couldn't even move. I'd forgotten my native language. I lay on the bed, gazing at the ceiling and feeling completely helpless. I'd forgotten my native language. How could that be possible? A bit early, I managed to find my online profile. It had been last been active that morning, meaning the very moment when I got on the train. I thought I could use an online translator to contact my relatives. I could tell them I was alive, but then all the what ifs started cropping up in my mind. What if they didn't believe me? What if they thought it was a prank? What if somebody else was living in my body and acting normally, just not using the internet? What if they did believe me and started worrying? What if it gave me somebody a heart attack or a stroke? What if? In the end, I decided not to contact anyone. Shocked and dismayed by my freshly realized loneliness, I lay down on the bed and started thinking again. I had forgotten my native language. Amazing. What else could I have forgotten? No idea. I remember my name, I remember my parents, I remember where I studied and where I worked. I still had my brightest memories. Where then? Damn! I had wanted to make a list of things I knew about Akira, but now I needed a list for myself. Talk about cruel irony. I closed my eyes. I had to calm down. After all, I remember most things about myself. That should be enough, for now. I'll still make a dossier about myself. The next question on the agenda is, what now? I don't know how I get here. I don't know what to do. Of course, the first priority is survival. Staying alive is 50% of success, but I guess that shouldn't be too hard. I'll spot a few stores along the way, and the universe probably has a cafeteria. I had some money in my wallet too. I just had to figure out what and how much I could get for it. So survival isn't a problem. What's next? Can I do something to get back? Maybe I'm stuck here forever. I once again felt frozen with fear. Blind, stupid, all-consuming fear. Trying to chase it away, I started praying like my grandma had taught me. I am not much of a Christian, of course. I only turn to God when I need something. And even when praying, a part of me knows it's just a reflex, one of the many programs in my brain. Like Pavlov's dogs, salivating when they hear the bell. Still, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Grant me courage to change the things I can, and grant me wisdom to know the difference. I whispered these lines several times and could feel the fear backing down. I don't know how this works. If it's just a ritual to calm my own nerves, then the following events were just a coincidence. But if not, perhaps my prayers were heard. A few hours later, Kyoko Shihan was standing in my kitchen, if that tiny space in the hallway could be called that, and was cooking some kind of curry. I remember that image down to every tiny detail. A gorgeous blonde closely watching the pan. She seemed to so foreign in that crappy apartment. Foreign and beautiful. I didn't realize I had been mindless staring at her for a while. I wonder if she noticed. I noticed, Akira-kun. She began and I felt uneasy. You don't like cooking very much. What makes you say that? Your fridge was empty. And the only utensil you own is this. She raised her hand, holding a single chopstick. Where's the other one, Akira-kun? I ate it. The fridge was empty, and I was too lazy to go to the store. Then I can fry the other one for you, but you'll have to buy a new set. You are probably wondering how we got here. Why was a girl I barely knew cooking curry in my kitchen? Let me explain. Having spent quite a bit of time doing nothing except wallowing in my misery, I'll realize I had to do something. You can spend an eternity feeling sorry for yourself or cooking up useless theories. All I could do was try and adapt to my new environment. I decided to start right away and look in the fridge. It wasn't a happy sight. It was completely empty. For a second I even thought it was new. It was a new fridge, sure. So I had to go out for groceries. Before that, I'll take in a shower and change it. After all, I had to keep my new body clean. Having made myself presentable, I went out. Finding a store wasn't a problem. I'll remember where it was on my way home. The problem was money. I had something in my wallet, but clearly it wouldn't last long. The wallet also had a black card for some local bank. Thankfully, it said Visa. But what was the PIN? And what would I do if I couldn't pay? I wouldn't be able to go to the bank and tell them about my amnesia. Damn. It was clear that I would need help. I couldn't figure out what I was or wasn't able to do. My sad thoughts were interrupted by a familiar voice. Akira-kun? I turned around. Uh, it's Shihan. It was Shihan. because this is the past. Whoa! Come on, you passed me by without noticing. Noting how Kyoko was even prettier in her casual clothes, I started coming up with excuses. I'm sorry, I was lost in thought. Don't worry about it. Are you okay? You look so sad. I think I forgot the pin code to my car. Why don't you write to the bank? I also forgot the code word. Code word? What do you mean? Don't you need a name stamp? Huh? You can guess that her reply confused me. How would I know they didn't use code words here? I bounced back quickly though. My bank also requires code words. Gotta say, your bank is quite old-fashioned, Akira-kun. Traditional. I objected. Lay off my bank. Kyoko wasn't faced by my passive aggressiveness. What about your transport card? What about it? Have you never paid with it? No. I can pay in stores with a transport card? Let's go check. I think this Combini accepts transport cards. That's where you are going, right? God, please let Combini mean grocery store. Well, yeah, you too? Yeah, I need spice, shall we? She said and headed off to the store. Looks like I was right about the Combini. The Combini didn't really surprise me. It was a regular store like any other. One thing did manage to shock me though, and that was the food! Kyoko exclaimed quietly when we entered. I'd like to explain this one. It wasn't just food, it was the amount of prepared food. Food that you can just eat right away. There was a ton of it, all possible kinds. Salads, rice dish, noodles with various types of fish and meat, appetizers, entries, desserts. I couldn't stop gazing around. A true bachelor's paradise. Shihan, however, walked right past this gastronomic marvel. She stopped in front of the spice and frozen produce. I guess she cooked for herself. I wasn't going to waste time on that, so I started studying the prepared stuff. Okay, what is this? Don't worry. I took the package and started studying it. Rice, veg, something else. Looks edible, maybe even. Then I felt like I was shot in the head. A blinding pain hit me in the right temple. The word imploded into a tiny little dot inside my head. When it passed, I realized I was surrounded by people. Kyoko and the store owner were all standing nearby. They looked scared. Are you okay, Kyoko? I think I heard this one today. Yes, thank you. Who are you? Huh? Wait, it doesn't know again? As you can guess, Kyoko didn't appreciate the joke. Baka. Nevertheless, she was kind enough to offer to help me with. Oh, he was joking around. Okay. I was like, wait, so he lost the memory again? He lost the memory. Trade the body. Because he traded the body. Nevertheless, she was kind enough to offer to help me with cooking, and naturally I agreed. After that, she gathered a bunch of products I hadn't seen before, and I had to spend half of my cash on, and we headed to my place. Thankfully, my apartment was very clean, so I didn't have to feel embarrassed in front of Kyoko. She actually made herself at home pretty quickly in my kitchen. She checked my cupboard, found the plates, put stuff in the fridge. Somehow I thought she'll be more shy. She also refused my help, so I had nothing to do but lay on the bed, sneaking glance at her, hiding behind the book. So there we are. So Kirk, even though you and your kitchen try hard to stop me, I managed anyway. The sauce is ready. What does she mean, you and your kitchen? Did she notice me looking at her? I suppressed the sight to facepalm myself. My therapist always said I should forgive myself. I just started getting up when Kyoko approached me. What she was holding was an unpleasant surprise. Here you go, enjoy. Wait a minute, what about you? We exchanged bewildered looks. I'm not having any. What do you mean? I'm not hungry. You are lying. I don't know what got into me. Maybe it was the headache, or maybe just looking at Kyoko after the surge of testosterone, but I got brazen. I looked right into her eyes and said, seriously? The bewildered look on Kyoko's face changed into a displeased one, but she had no time to respond. You said you went to the store because you ran out of food. That doesn't mean I'm hungry, Akira-kun. But that, as it may, I demand that you eat with me. Come on, I'm sick. Kyoko gave me an angry look. What a pitiful attempt at manipulation, Akira-kun. I thought better of you. No! She will say the other. She handed me the plate and walked towards the exit. No! That's when the EDC of my behavior hit me. That's what I wanted. I wanted to thank her. Why can't I act normal? Kyoko-san, please wait. The girl stopped and turned around. Please forgive me, I was rude. I just feel awkward that you spent so much time cooking for me and I can't thank you. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to offend you. I'll be very happy if you'll eat with me. I wasn't looking at her while saying all those things. I was looking at the floor because I felt so guilty. And I thought myself an adult. Earlier I was praising her for her tact, and look at me in comparison. When I finally looked up at her, I felt a rush of relief. She didn't look angry anymore. I'm really not hungry, Akira-kun. But then she smiled. So I'll just eat a little bit, okay? I wanted to hug her. The girl was truly one of a kind. She had done so much for me, and all of it had been completely selfless. She hadn't asked anything in return, and then she graciously forgave my foul behavior. So I couldn't stop myself. He hugged her. I didn't know how weird it would look. I didn't know what she would think. I just knew I wanted to hug her. Maybe I was just trying to express my gratitude. Of course, it didn't last long. I quickly released her and stepped back, getting ready for the consequence. I felt I had done something I shouldn't have. I would invade her personal space. I got too close, maybe too close for her comfort. Women don't like being touched without asking. How would she react? Would she wave it off or take 20 steps back and erect new boundaries? Or maybe she was going to take out her phone and call the police. I just stood there looking at Kyoko and waiting for a reaction. I only said I will eat with you. He's like, yeah, I won. I walked Kyoko home. I tried to help with her stuff, even thought she had only one fairly light bag, and we agreed to see each other the next day at the university. Her agreement made me very happy, so I came back home all giddy. After eating Kyoko's food, I realized I was very tired. So the first day of my magical adventure ended pretty mundanely. I quickly set about bothering the neighbors with my snoring. And there we go. That's the end of the prologue day one of my summer adventure. This was just the beginning of Maxi Star. There's still a lot to unravel in this mystery wishlist full game. I already have the game wishlisted, so it's an interesting game. If you like visual novels, of course you need to like visual novels, and of course there's some choice. That choice about to see if the photos of that girl. I know if that. Uh, has some impact to get an ending or not. I can't say for sure. But of course, I cannot. I do not know what's in there, so it could be like more naked pictures of her. So that's why I didn't went for it. Uh, but yeah, like it's a game that with potential. The problem again, many games are coming out in the last weeks of May. There's a lot of games for in those weeks. It's gonna be hard to play all of them. I hope I can get time to play this one, but it is what it is. So if you want to try out this prologue version of my summer adventure, you can download it right now. It's already available for free. So, and if you play it and if you like it, don't forget to wishlist the full game that's supposed to come out on May 30. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.